Love or attraction is a powerful thing. Its power and allure had made people and even gods do unimaginable things since the beginning of time. In this day and age, love wars have become quite common. These are unrequited one-sided lovers whose desperation made them do horrific things. Today on Crime Diaries, we head to Maine to explore the horrific case of Nichole Cable. Nichole Christine Cable, properly known as Coco by her family and friends, was born on August 12, 1997 to David Cable and Kristen Franks. She lived in Glenburn with her mom and stepdad Jason Wiley and 3 younger sisters. Nichole was described as an enthusiastic, fun-loving young woman with a sassy and feisty disposition. She was very devoted to her family and adored peppy music and anything that allowed her to dance. She constantly desired for everyone to be content, and if they weren't, she would make an effort to make them feel better. In addition to cheerleading, Nichole enjoyed hanging out with her friends at her high school, Old Town High School, where she was a sophomore. She was quite well known and had a lot going for her because she also worked part-time as a model for Deb's Clothing. Nichole, like the majority of females her age, spent most of her time on social media and was constantly connected to her phone, texting pals and being updated on the hottest rumors and trends. She had no idea that one of her online pals had become dangerously fixated with her, and that fixation ultimately led to Nichole's death. On May 12, 2013, Nichole departed her house and informed her mother that she was simply going outside to meet someone and that she would return shortly before departing. Soon, hours had passed with Nichole nowhere to be seen. The family even made numerous attempts to contact her via her cell phone, but she was unreachable. Her family became worried when she did not return for a while and filed a missing persons report immediately. Nichole's photograph was instantly posted all over the city, sparking a massive hunt. Numerous volunteers arrived as police utilized aircraft and dogs.
This is my daughter. You're scared because you ran away. You're not in trouble. Just come home. It'll be okay.
Christine, Nichole's distraught mother, begged for Nichole's safe return on television and social media. She was finally located after extensive searching for many days.
A body has been located in Old Town and is presumed to be that of Nichole Cable. Unfortunately, this did not end as we wanted. On behalf of every law enforcement officer that was involved in this investigation, we offer our deepest sympathy to that of the family and the friends and all of the school children that were involved with Nichole.
Nichole's naked body was discovered in the woods 8 days after she vanished, 20 miles from her house, on May 20, 2013. A medical examination of her remains revealed that she died due to suffocation. Asphyxiation, or suffocation, is when your body doesn't get enough oxygen, which can cause you to pass out or die. For Nichole's family and friends, who had hoped to discover her alive, this was a devastating blow. They were at a loss to understand why somebody would want to harm Nichole in such a terrible way. She was the kind of girl who always wanted to make others happy and did not have any true enemies. So who could harm her in such a way? Near the end of the road where she was supposedly picked up, a memorial was established where loved ones visited to leave balloons, flowers, candles, and notes for her. Meanwhile, a suspect was already in the police's mind. His name was Kyle Dubé, a 20-year-old guy who worked for an agency that cared for people with disabilities. Kyle, his parents, and his 4-year-old daughter all resided in Maine. Although Kyle had a girlfriend, Sarah Messinger, who he had met through Facebook in 2012, Nichole was Kyle's #1 obsession. Kyle was constantly attempting to attract Nichole's attention, but Nichole was uninterested and just saw him as a friend. They genuinely spent a lot of time together and even went to one another's homes. In reality, Nichole's mother would later recollect confronting Kyle about his plans with her daughter because he was several years older than she was, and he had replied that they were just friends. However, Kyle plainly desired more, and so he devised a scheme to win Nichole over. He would kidnap her, hide her in the woods, and when everyone was hunting for her, he would locate her and become a hero. Nichole would be so appreciative and perhaps even fall in love with him, or so he thought in his sick and deranged mind. So, in May 2013, Kyle started the first stage of his plan, which involved creating a false Facebook account that he could use to communicate with Nichole covertly. He succeeded by using Nichole's knowledge of Brian Butterfield, a man whose name and image his girlfriend had once mentioned. Kyle sent Nichole a friend request, but Nichole thought it was Brian, so they struck up a conversation. Kyle went to Nichole's residence the night before she vanished and attempted to kiss her, but Nichole rejected him. On May 12th, Kyle talked to Nichole on Facebook while posing as Brian, and he persuaded her to meet him at the end of her driveway down a lonely dirt road. Her relatives had not seen her alive since that final encounter. The police detected Kyle's DNA on a mask that was located close to the crime site and also under Nichole's fingernails. He also had scratches on his face, which were said to be caused by his profession, but the police did not believe him. The bogus Brian Butterfield Facebook profile was created by Kyle according to the police's findings, and Nichole had gone to see him that evening. Kyle did try to hide his involvement by posting rosy posts about how much he loves his girlfriend, which seemed pretty suspicious and felt like he was overcompensating for something. He was interviewed by the police, much like many other people in the neighborhood, but he claimed to be unaware of Nichole's fate. On his Facebook page, he posted Nichole's missing person poster, perhaps in an effort to aid in the hunt. Kyle even visited Nichole's family home and offered to watch the younger girls while Christine was out pleading for information about Nichole's whereabouts. While Sarah chatted with the police, she noticed that they apparently believed that Kyle was somewhat connected to Nichole's disappearance. When Sarah confronted Kyle and demanded an explanation, he eventually admitted to killing Nichole. His kidnapping plan had failed. When the actual Brian Butterfield learned about the false Facebook profile, he informed the authorities. He informed them that he believed Kyle was responsible and that he was aware that Nichole had rejected his advances to have sex. As the evidence grew, Sarah's admission that Kyle had made a confession to her put the icing on the cake. Later, Kyle's brother Dustin also spoke up and provided police with the entire story. Kyle had arranged for Nichole to meet him down the road from her house. Then, he waited in the woods, wearing a ski mask and equipped with duct tape to bind her. On seeing her, he jumped out of the bushes and took Nichole, duct taped her, and put her in his father's truck. When he removed Nichole from the truck, he found she was dead. Kyle said that he panicked and dumped Nichole's lifeless body in the woods before removing her clothes and throwing them out the vehicle's window as he drove home. Kyle was arrested and charged in connection with Nichole's death in court. He pleaded not guilty, and his trial began in February 2015. Kyle's account and the notion that Nichole's death was an accident were not accepted by the prosecution. He may have intended to play the hero at first, but once he had Nichole under his control, the need to act on his crush grew too great to resist, and when Nichole struggled, he strangled her. Nichole attempted to defend herself based on DNA evidence and the scratches on his face. The defense contended that Kyle had no motive to kill Nichole because they were friends, and that someone else might have committed the crime, despite the fact that the bogus Facebook account was linked to his residence. They even went so far as to accuse Kyle's former girlfriend, Sarah, of having access to his computer and harboring hatred for Nichole. However, Sarah entered the room and confirmed that Kyle had told her everything. She went on to say that Kyle told her that he had strangled Nichole and duct taped her lips, eyes, wrists, and feet in order to prevent the police dogs from smelling her, as well as he had covered Nichole with branches and leaves so they could not see her from above. It is interesting to note that Kyle confessed to another prisoner in a 15-page letter he penned while inside. He provided more information about what happened that evening in the letter, acknowledging that he accidentally choked Nichole. Kyle wrote that Nichole ripped off his ski mask and scratched his face with both hands. He even drew a picture of how Nichole scratched his face, and then went on to describe how he taped her hands and feet with duct tape and put her in the truck. He wrote that Nichole was breathing as he drove away from her house, but she passed out. Then she started gasping for air. He quickly got out, cut the tape, and sat her up. She was still, and then he started doing CPR, but she wasn't breathing. He then used a pocket knife to scrape his skin from under Nichole's nails before dumping her body in the woods. In his later conclusion, he claimed that he never intended for Nichole to pass away and that he resisted calling for help out of fear. The jury heard this letter before convicting him of the crime after only 45 minutes of deliberation. Christine, Nichole's mother, urged the judge to punish the killer of her daughter harshly during the sentencing hearing. At the sentencing hearing, Kyle was offered the chance to admit his guilt and offer his regrets, but he declined. Superior Court Justice Anne Murray ordered Dubé, then 22, to serve 60 years in prison for murder and 30 years for kidnapping, to run concurrently. He was also made to pay money for funeral expenses. While passing the sentence, the judge referred to the crime as a senseless and unprovoked killing. Nichole's family was satisfied with the sentencing, saying that they can now rest knowing that their daughter's killer will not be getting out anytime soon. Nichole Cable was a bright young girl who had great plans for her life, like getting her driver's license, turning sweet 16, getting married, and having a family. It was all taken away from her by a monster disguised as a friend. Kyle's delusional obsession destroyed many people's lives. Nichole will always be remembered for her kindness and zest for life, and wherever she is, may she rest in peace. What are your thoughts about the murder of Nichole Cable? Tell us in the comments section. Also, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to get the latest updates. This has been Crime Diaries, and until next time, don't be another statistic.